Hi guys, it's me, Miss Hickson. This is a video to support this page from your pack. It's the 2-digit times 2-digit page, and we had already done one which was 2-digit times 1-digit. So this is just adding on to that skill, learning how to do 2-digit times 2 digits. And I will do 2 problems for you, and I will show you the 3 different ways to do it, which is the standard way, which is just the regular customary way, and then there's the box method, and then there's partial products. So first, let's do both problems the standard or customary way. The first problem says 80 times 15. So let's do 80 times 15. This is your ones column, and this is your tens column. So let's do the ones column first. 5 times 0. What is 5 times 0? 0. 5 times 8. What is 5 times 8? 40. Then we do the tens column. What is 1 times 0? 0. Remember to put your placeholder value right there. That's just an extra 0 that you put in there because this is the tens column, not the ones column. So you need a 0 right there. So 1 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 8 is 8. So you have 400 plus 800. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 8 is 12. Put in your comma, and your whole answer is 1,200, or sometimes we say that 1,200. The second problem says 24 times 17. 24 times 17. We're multiplying. When you're multiplying two numbers, you're always going to get a bigger number than the numbers that you started off with. You're seeing how many groups. If you had 24 17 times, if you added 24 17 whole times, what would the answer be? And it would be really hard to do a long problem like that and add 24 17 times. So that's why we do multiplication. And 24 is 24, like there's 24 little dots in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And then adding another 24 and another 24, 17 whole times. That's a lot. So that's why we do multiplication. So in our standard algorithm, our customary way of doing this, we do 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 28. And so we're going to regroup this. We're going to put the 2 from 28 up here. So 7 times 4 is 28. We put the 2 up here, and then we do 7 times 2 is 14 plus that 2. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 2 is 16. Now we're going to do the tens column, but remember we're going to put a placeholder value 0 right here. So 1 times 4 is, and remember to erase this where you regrouped from the earlier part of the problem, or you can exit out. So now that we have the 0 right there, we can do 1 times 4 is 4. And 1 times 2 is 2. So our answer is going to be 168 plus 240. So our answer is going to be 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 4 is 10. And again, we're going to carry one of the digits or regroup it up to here. 1 plus 1 plus 2. That's 2 plus 2 is 4. So your answer is 408. Now we're going to do the first problem, 80 times 15, and we're going to do it the box method. Box method. Another way to do it. You get the same answer. So, 80 times 15. This box is going to have 4 parts. 80 is 80 in the tens column and 0 in the ones column. 80 plus 0 is 80. 15 is 10 in the tens column and 5 in the ones column. 10 plus 5 is 15. So then we just find the answer to these multiplication problems. They're easier multiplication problems. 80 times 10. Well, you take the numbers 8 and 1. 8 times 1 is 8. And then you just add on the zeros. So for this box, you get 800. What about 10 times 0? Well, anything times 0 is 0. So you have a 0 for that column. What about 5 times 80? Well, you take the numbers 8 and 5. 8 times 5 is 40. And then you just add on that 0. You add on this 0. So it's 400. What about 5 times 0? It's 0. So then you add in all the numbers you got from those boxes. So we have 800 plus 400. 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 4 is 12. Put in the comma. And so your answer is 1,200, or sometimes we say 1,200. Let's do the box method for the second problem. That problem says 24 times 17. So again, it's going to be a box with 4 different parts. And it's 24, which is 20 plus 4, 24, times 17, which is 10 plus 7. So now we're going to do all of the problems. We're going to multiply. 10 times 20. Well, 1 times 2 is 2, and add on the zeros. 10 times 4. Well, 1 times 4 is 4. There's only 1 0 in that problem. So we have 240. And then 7 times 20. 7 times 2 is 14, plus the 1 0. And then 7 times 4. 7 times 4 is 28. This is why knowing your multiplication facts can help you when you're doing harder problems, because you don't have to sit there and figure out, okay, what is 7 times 4? You can use different methods to try to figure out what is 7 times 4. You can skip count. 7, 14, 21, 28. So we skip counted by 7s 4 times and we used our fingers. Or you can write out your facts. You can write little addition problems or dots, and you can just continue to work on your multiplication facts until you know them all. So now we have to add together all these parts. So this is going to be 200 plus 40. I like to order them from greatest to least. So 200 plus 140 plus 40. Make sure your columns are correct. Plus 28. Make sure your ones places are all lined up, your tens places and your hundreds places are all lined up. So this column is 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 2 is 10. 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. So your answer is 408. Now let's do those problems. Partial products. The first one is 80 times 15. So the partial product of 5 times 0 is 0. That's easy. What is the partial product of 5 times 8? No, 5 times 80. That's in the tens column. Partial product of 5 times 80 is 400. Now we're going to do the partial product of 1 times 0. No, 10 times 0. This is in the tens column. 10 times 0 is 0. Now we're going to do the partial product of 1 times 8. No, 1 times 80. 1 times 80 is 80. Oops, I did that wrong. 1 times 8. No, 10 times 80. This is in the tens column. 10 times 80. So look. 10 times 80, there's 2 zeros on there. So 1 times 8, and it has 2 zeros to add on. So this is 800. So let's add up all these products. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 8 is 12. So your answer is 1,200. Let's do the partial products of the other one. I think it will make it a little bit easier to understand because it's 24 times 17 and there's not so many zeros. So you can really see what you're doing. This is a 7. This is a 4. It's in the ones place, so it's just 7 and 4. 7 times 4 is 28. This is a 7, but this is not just a 2, it's a 20. It's in the tens column. So what is 7 times 20? Well, 7 times 2 is 14 plus the 1 0. 20 times 7 is 140. Now this one, like I said, it's tricky. This is not a 1, it's a 10. So what is 10 times 4? 10 times 4. Well, the 1 times the 4 is 4, plus the 0 is 40. So this is 40. And this is what is 10 times 20. This is in the tens column. 10 times 20. 10 times 20. You do the 1 times the 2, and then you add the zeros. It's 200. 200. This is not box method. This is partial products. So let's add it all up. 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6. Plus 4 more is 10. Put the 0 down here and carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. So your answer is still 408. Partial products. That's 3 different ways to do those problems. And you will get the same answer if you do them correctly every single time. And we always say to check your answer. And one good way in multiplication to check your answer is just to do it again. Do it twice. If you were working somewhere and they said, hey, multiply these two numbers together, and you didn't have a calculator and you did it one of your methods, you would probably want to do it a different method or do it the same method twice so you can make sure you get the same answer both times. I would suggest doing the whole sheet and then, yes, using a calculator to check your answers. But don't use a calculator until you've done the whole thing, and that way you can go back and check your answers. And if you get one wrong, erase it and redo it and see where the breakdown happened. You know you'd made just one little mistake somewhere, and try to figure out where you made the mistake. All right,